Hey, how are you guys doing tonight? I know it's another late night with Ken Walls. Um, but hey, I wanna bring up a topic that, man, we don't talk about this enough, and I really feel like we need to. And I'm gonna share something with you that I just saw a friend of mine posted on Facebook. I will not share this person's name because of the sensitivity of this issue. But man, we have got to listen, pay attention. What's up, Corey Calvin? How you doing, brother? Man, we got to pay attention to people. We got to listen to people. What's going on, dear sweet Janelle? I love this woman. I've never even met her, but look at her just beautiful, glowing, smiling, happy face. She's such a wonderful person. So, I want to talk about something that I have personally experienced, um, and that is suicide among our youth. I was, as many of you know, I'm coming up on 18 years of sobriety. And when I was in the throes of my alcoholism, what's up, Freddie? How you doing, man? I had thought many times about ending my life, my journey on this planet, many times because I just didn't know how to deal with the pain. And I think that we don't listen. We don't listen to people, man. Everybody's looking for an angle. Everybody's trying to figure out how they can get theirs or how they can look cooler on social media, and it just really bothers me to read things like what I just read on my buddy's post. And I have hey, Danielle, I have screenshotted it. I made sure his name is not in it because I'm not willing to put his name out there. Hey, Kimberly, how are you? So let's talk about this. People, teenagers, a lot of people that follow me and watch me, um, are my age or older, some younger ones, but remember what it's like being a kid. Like, you just want to fit in. You just want to fit in. You want everybody to like you, and you want to be popular, and you want to be friends. And I before I go any further, I want to pop this up on the screen and let you read this. I'll read it out loud with you. It's heartbreaking, just so you know. Oh, it's taken up the daggone screen, so I'm going to read it directly from the post. Um, it's been a few days of questions for me, not about COVID or the protests. Instead, it's about a 16-year-old boy that I will never meet. I spoke to a mom the last couple of days who lost her 16-year-old son to suicide last week, and we talked about her emptiness and wondering how she, her husband, and younger son will go on. She told me about this 16-year-old who marched to the beat of his own drummer, was bullied at school to the point where he couldn't even eat in the lunchroom, and instead had to take lunch to the band room to find solace all alone. This mother explained that he was sad on the night that he took his own life, and he couldn't figure out why he couldn't get friends. On the night of his passing, this young man made a video telling the people who followed him on Instagram and TikTok that he was going to take his own life. Not one person asked to talk to him, not one. The mother now wonders if just one person would have spoken up on social media to her son, if he wouldn't have went through with it. I wonder too. I'm taking this mother's plea to parents and young people out there to be that one person that might make all the difference to another person in need. That's heart-wrenching, heart-breaking to me. And it is because I've been there. When I was a raging alcoholic, I really didn't know. I did not know how to deal with the pain that I was in. I did not know how to deal with it. And there were many, many times that I held a gun in my hands, that I literally thought the whole process out. And you know, I've never really talked about that publicly, but like, it's something that, especially for teenagers, you know, I have a 14-year-old and I have she's still 9. She'll be 10 on Monday. She thinks she's 30, but you know, I have these little girls and I just think, man, I would never, I wouldn't know. I would not know how to handle that. I would not know how to, I never want to have to deal with that ever. So pay attention to people around you. And it's not just with kids. It's not just with kids. There's a lot of people that are suffering, and it's not just because of COVID. And it's not about there's just a lot of people suffering in pain. And you know, it's our duty. I mean, my God, I don't care if you make $1 trillion while you're on planet Earth, and you know, you're not taking a dime of it with you. I don't care if you are the most wonderful person in the world. What are you doing to reach out to people that are hurting? What are you doing to help other people? That family, it crushes me, man. I mean, this just crushes me. Hold on, I got to send a message to someone. That family will never get to see their 16-year-old son again, ever. It's heartbreaking. Oh, that is so awesome, Kimberly. Look, staying silent because you're afraid to, you know, ask a kid like, "Hey, man, why are you eating?" And the teachers need to notice this stuff. Somebody reach out to these kids. Somebody needs to reach out to these kids and help them. I mean, this 16-year-old kid committed suicide. Jennifer just said her niece committed suicide. Like, their life is, that's it. And to say, you know, like, well, I don't know how I could help. Sometimes it's just listening. How do you listen? You shut up. You ask them a question. How are you doing? And then shut your mouth. That's how you listen. I don't know if everybody knows how that works, but you just shut up and listen. You listen. You don't have to have the solution. Sometimes it just takes being somebody to lean on. Sometimes it just takes being somebody to say, to approach the hurting person. And when you say, "How are you doing?" don't say it in passing. Mean it. Mean it. Listen. We live in a world right now that is filled with terror. Unfortunately, people still watch the news. I don't, but there are people who still do. We live in a world filled with social media. These kids, like when I was a kid, like it was one thing like to yes, thank you, Hermelo. Thank you. You're right. But like, it was when I was a kid and I was in school. I mean, yeah, we got picked on. There were all kinds of things that happened, but we didn't have social media. We didn't have social media where kids get brutal. I mean, they get brutal. And if you're a kid watching this, a high school kid, a middle school, elementary school, one of the things about my daughters that I have taught my kids, and I know Abigail for a fact, my youngest, I know for a fact that she reaches out to the kids. There's a special needs kid that nobody wanted to be around, and Abigail navigated right over to this kid and helped this kid out in every way that she could. We have to show compassion and love for other people, man. All this crap being thrown around on social media. My gosh, I don't spend a lot of time looking through other people's stuff, but the little bit that I scroll through Facebook, the hatred just pouring out across this globe. God, it's got to stop, man. We seriously are hating on each other. This is 2020, y'all. This is 2020, and we're still hating on each other over the differences in the color pigments of our skin. Are you freaking kidding me? And we've got kids, 16-year-old kids, committing suicide. It just kills me, man. It kills me. This kid's parents will never get to see him, talk to him again. Because somebody didn't say, hey, buddy, what's going on with you, man? Something doesn't seem right. Are you okay? And when he said, yeah, I'm fine. Well, if you're fine, why are you not in there eating with your friends in the cafeteria? Why are you over here eating in the freaking music room? Why? Or the band room or whatever it was. Like, why aren't you hanging out with friends? And when you notice that, pay attention. Watch that kid. If you're a teacher, especially. Well, you don't understand teachers have. I don't understand. But don't be a teacher then. I'm sorry, but come on, man. We got to take responsibility for our children. Janelle says it takes being aware of those around us and paying attention to what is going on with people, opening our hearts and actually caring. Amen. I just, I think that, man, this world is filled with too much hatred. These poor kids today, man, they see this crap. They get bullied on social media. They get bullied on social media. When I was a kid, if you got bullied, you had two options. Let them keep bullying you or beat the shit out of somebody. I always opted to try to beat the crap out of somebody. Pardon my language. I'm feeling a little bit passionate about this because I've been there, man. I've personally been there. And nobody knew that I sat around thinking about committing suicide when I was a kid. Nobody knew that. Nobody knew that. I'm grateful today that I didn't. But man, we got to talk about this. These kids are committing suicide, and not just kids, adults are too. Because they're afraid to talk to somebody, or maybe they feel like talking isn't going to do any good, or maybe they did try to talk to somebody and they were blown off. It was just brushed aside. I'll stop that. You're not going to commit suicide. Stop talking like that. Now go outside and play, or go do your homework, or don't bother me. I'm trying to do a TikTok right now. Leave me alone. I don't think that staying silent solves the problem. I don't think staying silent solves the problem. I don't know that I have the solution. I'm just saying, like, I think that one of the biggest part of the solution is we have to reach out to these people when we see them suffering. And don't tell me you don't feel the energy. Who was it that just said it? Kimberly right here said it. Trust your instincts, even if it doesn't make sense. You feel it, man. And if you don't feel it, that means you're out of touch with yourself. And you need to dig deep, man. Figure it out. You can feel this energy, man. And when you do, say something. Use your voice and love and compassion, like my friend Janelle says. Because look, these kids, man, I honestly, I couldn't imagine being a 14, 15, 16-year-old kid right now in this world with social media, the craziness on the news, the freaking, social media taking the news and blowing it way out of proportion and everything else that's going on in the world. And we're going to sit back and watch 16-year-old kids commit suicide and not do anything about it, not say anything. As parents, going to our children and saying, "Can I ask you a question? Have you ever thought about taking your life? And just like talking about it?" Because you think like, "Oh, I couldn't talk to my kid like that." You think they don't hear this shit? Are you serious? What planet do you live on? These kids hear stuff that we cannot imagine. In school, my fourth grader, the stuff she hears as a fourth grader, she's going to be fifth grade now, but as a fourth grader, the stuff that she's hearing. But man, just as long as we're comfortable and we're good. The only way for evil to win is for enough good people to do nothing. It's the only way. We got to make a difference in other people's lives, man. We have to. What's the point of being here? What's the point of being here if you're not going to help other people? There's no reason. You can't give me a good reason. Jennifer, I'm so sorry about your niece as well. That's unbelievable. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. I read that. I wasn't going to do a live stream tonight. I just did one in my private Grow Live community for members of my course. And I thought, I'm tired. I'm not going to do it. And I thought I'm going to shut it down for the night. And then I took one last refresh on Facebook and saw my buddy's post. And, man, I got to tell you that it breaks my heart to hear that a 16-year-old kid committed suicide and his parents will never, ever get to hug him again. Never get to have a conversation with him again. Never get to hear him play in the band again. They will never get to yell at him and tell him to pick up his clothes off his dirty room floor again. Tony says, caring about someone is one of the few free things we can give in life. Dude, it's true, man. It's true. And let me say this, if you're just one of those people that you're existing, faking your way through life, and at the end of the day you don't genuinely care about other people, Must be sad to live in your shoes. We got to care about other people, man. And when we have kids committing suicide, it's time that we get pissed off about that. We got it like that. We can't have that, man. Like that. What? We can't have that. We can't have that, man. People are suffering. Be kind to everyone. To everyone. Stop being so judgmental of religion, of color, of all the crap that, look, being judgmental is almost a rite of passage in America. And I that's judgmental. I'm being judgmental. But like, look, man, like, start, instead of looking for differences in everybody that you meet, why don't you look for things that you have in common with everybody that you meet? Why don't you look for the things that you have in common with those people? Wake up. Wake up. Ask. Kayleen says, it worries me for my grandchildren. I try to make sure they know they can always talk to me. The sad part is with social media for these teenage kids, man, it can get brutal. I mean, it can get brutal. These kids can be nasty, horrific little monsters. Ernest, thank you, my brother. You're a blessing to me, man. Thank you. I appreciate you being here and always sharing my stuff out, man. Thank you. Janelle, amen. Totally agree with you. Amen. You know, somebody used to say to me, no matter what the problem is, no matter what the challenge is, the answer is God. And I'm not trying to break religious on anybody in any way. God is the answer no matter what. No matter how you view God, I don't care what religion you're from. I truly don't care. Whatever the problem is, the answer is God. Love. God and love are synonymous. They're the same. Love everyone. Find the good in every person that you come across. And when you see somebody that's suffering, or you feel it in your soul, like, man, there's something going on with this person, listen, just ask them, hey, Janelle, is everything okay? Are you doing okay? Is there anything I can help you with? I noticed if you're close to the person or in their proximity often, hey, I noticed that, I don't know, you seem to be kind of disconnected. What's going on with you? And I do that. And anybody that knows me that has my cell phone number and that I talk to on a regular basis knows that I will call you out. If I feel your energy's off, we have to just put out these fires of evil that exist. I mean, look, I'm going to pop it back up on the screen in case you just joined. This says it's been a few days of questions for me, not about COVID or protests. Instead, it's about a 16-year-old boy that I will never meet. I spoke to a mom the last couple of days who lost her 16-year-old son to suicide last week. And we talked about her emptiness and wondering how she her husband, and younger son will go on. She told me about this 16-year-old who marched to the beat of his own drummer, was bullied at school to the point where he couldn't even eat in the lunchroom, and instead had to take lunch to the band room to find solace all alone. This mother explained that he was sad on the night he took his own life and couldn't figure out why he couldn't get friends. On the night of his passing, this young man made a video telling the people who followed him on Instagram and TikTok that he was going to take his life. Not one person asked to talk to him. Not one. The mother now wonders if just one person would have spoken up on social media to her son if he wouldn't have went through with it. I wonder too. I'm taking this mother's plea to parents and young people out there to be that one person that might make the difference to another person in need. If you think you can't make a difference, you are wrong. You're wrong. You can make a difference. You can make a difference. And it might be one person. It might have just taken one person. The kid posted a video on social media. Posted a video on social media saying, "I'm going to take my life." And not one single person said a word to him about it. We got to make this a better world. And it's not going to happen through hatred. It's not going to happen through judging others. It's not going to happen through saying, well, you're black and I'm white, or I'm black and you're white, and so we're just going to hate each other. That's about the dumbest ass thing I've ever heard in my life. And it's not going to happen by blaming this person or blaming that person or blaming this group or blaming that group, or saying, well, I'm Christian and you're Muslim, so I have to hate you, or I'm Muslim and you're Christian and I have to hate you. None of that works. We've tried this for thousands of years now. It doesn't work. The only thing that works is love. And when you see somebody hurting, approach them and ask them, what can I do to help you? Can we talk? Can I buy you a cup of coffee? Can I buy you a soda? Can I buy you and just sit down and talk with you? What can I do to help you? What can I do to help you? 7 words. 7 words, man. Let them sink in. I agree. Where were the teachers and the principals and all of this bullying? And you know, the kids are afraid. They're afraid. They're afraid to report it because the other kids will just get meaner. Sadly, the algorithm so efficient at catching copyright issues is not also tuned for those kinds of statements, right? The algorithm is so wonderful at catching copyright. The algorithm's so wonderful at saying, hey, this is false, whatever. But you can't catch a kid saying, I'm going to end my life and alert somebody. Janelle, you're right, man. God will work it out. Just love everyone. Love everyone. I don't even like the word enemy. People are like, am I supposed to love my enemy? How about not having an enemy? Have you ever thought of that? Like, did that thought ever cross your mind? Like, hey, you know what? Not only am I going to like not love my enemies. I'm just going to like circumvent that whole thing, and I'm just not going to have enemies. How about that? Cash me outside, because I'll give you a hug. I'm so sorry to hear about this young man, since one of my best friends took her, I think you meant took her own life. And I took my daughter aside the very next morning and told her the importance of talking to someone. I told her I didn't care if it wasn't me. She was to choose someone before we ended our conversation, and she called that person on the phone to let them know what she had chosen them to do. We still check in on this regular. That's so awesome, Kellen. That's terrible. It's terrible that one of your best friends took her own life. Look, I think that I'm done. I just wanted to bring some attention to this. Be aware, wake up, just be aware. If you notice it, if you notice sadness in somebody, if you notice, I don't know, there's plenty of things that you could Google, you could find on the internet, how to tell if someone's feeling suicidal, whatever. But like, help people, man. Just help people. Just help people. For real. I love you all. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Say some prayers for this world too, man. Just send some good love and energy to the whole world. We need it. The whole world needs it. Whether you see it or not yet, you will. We need prayer. Love you guys. Appreciate all of you. Thank you for being on here. Have a wonderful night. And we will see you probably tomorrow. See you later.